What's going on, everybody? Real quick, I wanted to talk about XRP. I wanted to talk about Brad Garlinghouse's statements towards the SEC. I want to talk about the SEC's ruling to fine them $2 billion. Annalisa Torres has this on her desk as we speak, and the SEC is requesting that they pursue that money. If you were to ask me, analyzing everything, in November 2024, there's a very important date. Every one of you know what it is. When that certain someone ends up back, you know how to read through my rhetoric. When he ends up back, they're going to drop all sorts of problems on his desk. You would agree that the market is one big bubble, all right? And we've been pumping into it, protecting it at all costs. A system that should have fallen, 14 years ago, 15, 16 years ago. Jeez, I'm aging myself. I was in college. However, as you continue to, whether it be with stimulus or with other funds that are being, moved towards manufacturers. With all that being said, we have a market that is literally waiting for that little pin to pop a hole in it. And at this point, what we all know about the SWIFT system, what we understand about XRP, what we understand about the BRICS, what we understand about all these details, that lawsuit is the one thing that the government is using to prop themselves up long enough to be able to dump it on another person's desk. All right, they can see the future. They understand what's going to happen. And this is why Trump said, I hope this happens before I end up back in office so I can start to work on it. If it happens when I'm in office, it's going to be a whole bunch of issues. I'm still going to work on it, but it's going to be much more difficult, because you're going to have the media pointing blame, saying, oh, it's the reaction to this. That's why the market fell. The date that I was talking about, it was a reaction to that. That's why the market fell. It's a no-brainer. So asking for $2 billion in a lawsuit where there's no precedence, and now it's been laid out just fine, seems out of reach. And it might be intentional, a way to delay and prolong and push this onto that guy's desk. All right, whoever the new SEC chair is, who's not Gary Gensler, will have to, clean up the mess that Gary Gensler's left behind. If you don't see at this point that the administration that's in now wants chaos, if you haven't seen all these interviews on YouTube with the radical left saying that it's okay to transition this and down with America and whatnot, they collectively vote on that side because they understand that that side is trying to do this. They won't speak on it because they all have that agenda, and they understand that that agenda is dangerous. Dangerous for their party and everything else. Because there's a lot of blind people in between. Blind politically. And they vote that side because that's how their parents told them, and that's the right side. But they also know that the politicians that are behind that side will do whatever they can to destroy and manipulate and fill their pockets with as much as possible. Some people aren't as cynical as I talk about, but when you have that money put into your pocket, I forget what the defense guy, national defense guy is, the guy that looked like Darth Vader, right? You know which one I'm talking about? Well, I personally know somebody that served with him, and he talked all these great things about him. Well, this guy also told me a story about how he used to drive with 500 grand, dropping it off to all sorts of militias all over Iraq back in 2007, 2008, 2009. And that was his job. And he thought about it. He said to me that he thought about it. He says, you have any idea how hard it is not to kill the guys that you're with and take that money and dump it somewhere? Come back for it another time? You know, when you're somebody as trained as I am, you can do those things. However, that's something that just crosses your mind. You have to go to work and fight and do all these things. Now, this is somebody that was, you know, in line, shoulder to shoulder with, and he's got great character. This guy ended up a wonderful person. However, the defense secretary, Darth Vader, he said that his values changed. Well, I'd like to put it in characteristic like this. You don't have to kill anybody now. And you can fill your pockets with the same amount of money because of the power that you have. All you have to do is just alter your opinion on a couple things, especially at the end of your life. Do you think that those things are uncorruptible? I don't know. I'm just trying to give you a little bit more insight the way that I see things, the way that our boy saw things. Rest in peace. I'm not doing this as a tribute to him. I just know that there's a couple people out there that still do follow me and want to know about X-Force, whatever. See you later, you silly motherfuckers.